me and you talked about Scream like last week, right?
No, that wasn't me. You asked me earlier
but
about
we have talked about it in the past because we saw this announcement. This is there is a new Scream movie coming out, which I am, for one, excited about as somebody who's not like a huge horror movie dude, right?
Same.
Grew up with slasher movies, part of my childhood. That's to be expected. But this article kind of teases something that's been a theme in these movies for like a very long time. Or not a theme, I'm sorry. A theory in these movies for a very long time, since the second movie. And it says, Scream's 2022 posters are teasing the perfect Ghostface twist. And this is an article from Screen Rant. And it says, the characters' posters from Scream 2022, that is hard to say, are teasing the perfect Ghostface twist that could successfully revitalize the slasher series. The late Wes Craven directed the first 4 Scream films, with each installment containing a killer twist that ensures the heroes can never fully trust anyone around them. Scream 2022 sees the return of beloved legacy characters, but the posters imply that the killer's identity could be incredibly close to home. So basically what it is they took pictures of like the 3 main characters, meaning Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott, David Arquette as Dewey, and then Gale, and Courtney Cox as Gale, and they are all holding one of the masks.
Yeah.
One of the theories since the first time these movies came out was that eventually one of those main characters would end up being one of the bad guys, would end up playing Ghostface and being a killer in one of the movies. And the fact that these 3 have survived 4 iterations of one horror film series is kind of unheard of in that genre. So it's interesting that because they could make any type of promotion they want. You know, all of this stuff is very calculated. So an ad like this does scream to me that could be the way they're going for the 5th one. I know that in the 4th one, Sydney was supposed to die, and they but they changed it at the very last minute. They were too afraid to pull the trigger on it. So, and with Wes Craven gone now, they might be he might be more hesitant to make that change, to do that theory, right? It's his baby. He doesn't want to be influenced by what media says or what fans are thinking about his property, so he goes a different way. I, for one, actually thought the 4th Scream, which came out in 2011, was fairly prophetic about how addictive social media is and how people... I don't know if you've ever seen...
Oh, I remember it well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually think, considering 2011 is now 10 years ago, and even then they're talking about how they don't need friends, they need fans, and the self-indulgent, vapid nature of social media and how narcissistic it makes people was really, really ahead of its time as far as a theme in a movie. I dare say almost as far ahead of its time as Scream 1 was, turning that genre on its head and making it a self-satire in a way that still worked, right? So I don't think that the 4th one got really the play it could have that it could have, because it wasn't in at that time.
That's
Scream
true.
1 was a perfect right place, right time, fit within the culture. It was a phenomenon, and I'm not sure if I really have faith that a 5th iteration of a film like this can really do that. It's not going to.
They were done with it. That's what I thought. But you go ahead.
Is this being marketed as Scream 5 or a reboot?
It's just called Scream.
So it's a reboot.
No, it's the same characters.
It's a continuation, but they're not putting the numbers
just
anymore.
like
Gotcha.
with Halloween, they took the numbers away from it with the Jamie Lee Curtis continuation, which pretends that everything after Halloween 2 never happened.
Yeah.
Right.
But this one is pretending that it doesn't discount any of the previous
I
films.
see.
But I do love it how you said Scream is kind of satire towards like scary movies, because I think it was either Scream 2 or 3 where in the beginning they have like this really hot girl and she's like talking to her girlfriend, and like I think she was watching a scary movie and there's like a killer. I forgot who the actress was, but
Jenny
she was
McCarthy?
Sarah Michelle Gellar in the second
Is that
one.
what it was?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Basically, like, she's watching a scary movie, and then, like, her friend, like, hangs up the phone, and she hears something. And, like, when she was watching the movie, she's, like, naming all the cliches of scary movies, and she falls in the same cliches.
Yeah,
so I love it how you pointed out it was a satire.
Yeah, it was brilliantly done in those films. Far more nuanced than what you get out of most movies these days, outside of, like, maybe foreign, I don't know if you saw Train to Busan.
Yes, I did, and it's so sad. We were about to watch it downstairs, but I was like, it's too early to cry. And Brian, if you guys don't know who Brian is one of our coworkers on Timcast, and he was like, dude, it's like 11:15, almost 12. It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry. So I one thing I do, there's a couple of red flags that I see in this movie already. One is that it's got a 2-person directing team. I never trust films that I tend to not trust films that do dual directors, meaning not like second unit director, but actual two directors listed. Do you have IMDb pulled
I
up?
do. I got
Okay.
He does.
Can you look up Matt Bettinelli?
I don't recognize either of these directors.
Yeah, neither do I. Matt Bettinelli, Open, and Tyler Gillett. So they're not mainstays in the industry. If I saw,
Ready or Not. The first guy did Ready or Not.
Okay. But
VHS.
anytime there's a two-person team, it tends to mean that either the studio has more, the studio has way more control over those properties, meaning that if one director, one auteur director who's got a lot of credits to his name has a lot more say in what gets made than some. It's why Marvel does this with new up-and-coming filmmakers, right? They hire relative unknowns because they're not being paid to make their movie. They're being paid to make Marvel's movie. So in a lot of ways, that's likely what we're going to do here. And it doesn't bring back Kevin Williamson as the writer. He's only an executive producer, that's like a joke whenever you watch trailers and there's like from the executive producer or from the producers of. That doesn't matter. They didn't write it. They're just put their money behind it.
That's true.
So without Kevin Williamson writing, and obviously there's no Wes Craven to direct because he is no longer with us, there's a lot to kind of be hesitant about. But I would be interested to see if they manage to actually put together a movie and use one of these three main characters as one of the bad guys, as Ghostface. Because first of all, other than 3, there's only been... 3 is the only one where they had one killer rather than two simultaneously. So do you do 2 of them turning against one character, or do you have one and then one new character as well?
I don't know. That's kind of weird. Unless like there's a plot twist where they bring back Jason or Freddy. I don't know. I'm thinking like terrible ways to ruin this movie.
Like a crossover?
You want to kill it already.
I'm like, let's just kill it. We're done. Make something new. But I searched up Tyler Gillett for you. He's known for VHS 2012, Ready or Not 2019, and Books 2011.
Yeah, so these guys work together.
Okay.
They've created all these movies together.
Okay.
None of them
All
are
right.
very good, but
Yeah.
they work together. You know?
Right. Well, I'm not particularly... It would be interesting if they made Dewey and Gale the killers, and then Sydney and they actually get Sydney. But that would be the last time they'd ever be able to make these movies, at least outside of completely reimagining the franchise, which is not hard to believe in this day and age. But this is interesting because whenever we have these discussions about strong female characters in movies, Sidney Prescott gets left off a lot of those lists. Everyone lists Ripley from Alien. Sidney Prescott survived 4 serial killers. 4 separate serial killers. That's incredible.
That's true, but come on. Aliens, that's a good movie.
So
Maybe they should remake that one.
They should not.
Yeah.
They should not.
Keep it where it is.
Prometheus was a thing and should never have been made.
Well,
That's true.
Of course.
Hasn't Aliens already met Jason?
Yeah. No, they did.
Versus Predator.
They did.
Oh, okay.
Predator.
Freddy and Jason.
And Predator and Aliens.
Yes, Alien
Yeah.
versus Predator
Yeah.
and Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
But the Predator versus Aliens, that movie was kind of stupid.
Most of those types of movies don't.
It was stupid because like they made an alien predator baby and like it started killing all the predators, and then like the main actress, she's like the only one that survived, but she killed one of the predators, and like the predator that was like left alone, he's like, I respect you, let's kill these aliens. And they worked together, and he left her alone. He was like, here, have this thingamajig, now go.
I don't know if I ever saw that one the whole way through. I think it was so bad, like 20 minutes in. I think because being not, I mean, I loved Alien. I was never. I loved the first Predator. I never really saw the second or third ones, or I don't know how many.
I watched a review, so that's why I summarize it so quickly.
The first Predator is, one of the greatest movies of all time. But the second, there's like people who like diehard fan bases for those sequels that, like people, some people just love the sequels of certain movies. That's just a thing. But I never really liked those type of like crossovers.
Well, Aliens had a really good moral. Save the cat.
There you go.
That's all they taught me.
There
Save
you
the
go.
cat. Don't care about human beings or cyborgs.
But I got to mention that Jamie Lee Curtis has survived more than Sydney, right?
Yeah.
But she's only in the first. She's not really the main character of all the Halloweens after.
I've only seen the first and the second,
Yeah.
and then I saw the recent awful reboot.
She's in them. She was in H2O.
Oh yeah, and H2O, so that's 5.
H2O is so awful. I love
What's
LL Cool J.
H2O?
But that's at least 5 movies, and it spans how many years? Like 40 years almost.
Yeah. So The
I
fact
mean,
that she's still alive
that's-
is very impressive. So the Scream Queens need more credit from
Yes.
the strong independent women fan base that talk about how about these things.
Didn't
Everyone
it get
lists Ripley.
canceled? That show, Scream Queens? I thought it was canceled already.
Scream Queens is just a general term for.
No, it wasn't a TV
It was
show?
a TV show.
Yeah.
It was. I never saw it. I saw the Scream TV show.
Yeah.
So I think the marketing has been pretty good on this one. They've only released one trailer. I get hesitant when they start to release multiple trailers, but there's just a lot of red flags in there. Plus, most of it is like you're just connected to something that you've known for like this. The first Scream came out in '95, so it's been part of
Just
my life for.
Just kill this movie. Like, just destroy it.
No,
I'm done with these remakes. Do something new.
I'm like, these are in a weird place for me because I'm less emotionally connected to this than I am some other franchises. So if this gets ruined, it won't bother me the same way some other things will. But I don't see that necessarily being what happens. But there are definitely red flags for what happens within the film.
But a white flag might be the fact that they're at least aware of the fans' anticipation of these three have survived. So at least, one of them might be the killer. They might there might be an opportunity for a three-way face-off of
Yeah,
murder.
That would be interesting.
I know.
That would be interesting. Like, there's a way you can do it. There's definitely a way you can do it.
And they won't do that.
No,
I can promise.
There's no money in doing, because then they only get one movie out of it, likely. Like, and they're gonna want, if they want to continue. I mean, everyone says they're not going to keep going, but they always keep making the movies.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's you have to expect it at this point. So
Guaranteed.
yep.